Hello. Hello, bestie. We are so back with season 1 of Peacemaker. If you want to jump straight into the recap and skip my explanation for my artwork, that's fine. I made timestamps just for you. I do need to give some context for the Peacemaker TV show and also some context for my visual aid. This is the mini murder board. I usually have a bigger board than this, and it's mounted to a wall. I decided to keep the color codes more simple for this one. I'm only using red, blue, and yellow, the same colors that are on Mr. Peacemaker's costume. Get it? Do you see? The yellow string connects family, the red string will connect enemies, and then the blue string connects people that are working together like allies. You may have noticed I did not connect Adebayo to Harcourt, and that's not because they're not connected. I liked the look of it better without the extra string, so deal with it. The colors behind the characters do not matter. I made them blue and yellow, again, just because that's the colors on Peacemaker's outfit. I didn't want to make anybody red because I need to save the red cardstock for my Arrowverse videos. The yellow ones are just like all of the characters that are masked vigilante type characters, and then the blue ones just everyone else. I will be adding little tags to the character photos. Anyone with a blue bee is a butterfly. We'll get into that. And then anybody with an RIP would be dead. So that's the board. Now, what the fuck is Peacemaker? Peacemaker is obviously a DC comic book character. I would not be making a video if it wasn't about a DC comic book character. That's kind of all I do. Peacemaker, he's kind of an anti-hero. He does bad things for a good cause. This Peacemaker, the one that is played by John Cena, was first introduced to us in James Gunn's movie The Suicide Squad, released in 2021. And I am not talking about the absolute abomination that was Suicide Squad 2016. That's a different circus with completely different monkeys. The Suicide Squad and Suicide Squad are two different movies. During The Suicide Squad 2021, directed by James Gunn, John Cena's Peacemaker is a part of the Suicide Squad. If you don't know what the Suicide Squad is, I don't know how to help you. Amanda Waller runs the Suicide Squad, or Task Force X as it's more formally known. Every member of Task Force X has a bomb implanted in their necks so that if they go rogue, Amanda Waller can just blow them up. Peacemaker is given a side mission by Amanda Waller. They're going after some shit called Project Starfish, and Amanda Waller doesn't want the world to know that the United States government had a hand in creating that abomination, so she tells Peacemaker to destroy the evidence of the U.S.'s involvement. Rick Flag and Peacemaker get into a fight at the end of the Suicide Squad movie because Flag wants the world to know that, the U.S. government had a part in this. Peacemaker, he made a vow. He made a vow for peace, and he doesn't care how many men, women, or children he needs to kill to get peace.
I cherish peace with all my heart. I don't care how many men, women, and children I need to kill to get it.
Obviously, the world would be more peaceful if people didn't know that the United States government funded fucking Project Starfish. So, Peacemaker kills Rick Flag, and Rick Flag's dying words are, "Peacemaker, what a joke." Peacemaker gets into a fight with Bloodsport. Bloodsport shoots Peacemaker in the neck. He falls over. We are led to believe that he's dead. If that's not enough convincing to you that Peacemaker dies, the entire building collapses on top of Peacemaker. Before we can discover how Peacemaker is not actually dead, I need to address the new DCU and the old DCU. The Suicide Squad movie and Peacemaker were directed by James Gunn. Notable director for a lot of superhero movies. I think he did some of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, bunch of other shit. I don't know. He's a really impressive resume. James Gunn is kind of taking over the DCU. Zack Snyder was in the driver's seat. He was like the guy that was making all the big box office DCU movies. Zack Snyder is responsible for the CGI Superman mustache. He's responsible for the Ezra Miller Flash. He's responsible for creating the sexy Aquaman. If I'm getting my facts right, everything that James Gunn is doing is part of the new DCU, which is just called the DCU. And then everything from before that, so the things Zack Snyder did and all of the other DC movies and shows and stuff, that's the old DCU, which is called the DCEU, DC Extended Universe. The point of all of this is to say that Peacemaker is a special case because season 1 of Peacemaker takes place in the Snyderverse. Canonically, the Snyderverse Justice League shows up in this series. But then season 2 is confirmed to take place in the new DCU. So it's an interesting show. It's going to be interesting to see how they address that. Now it is time to get into the entire plot of season 1 of Peacemaker. Let's go. Episode 1, A Whole New Whirled. You're shot, a building falls on you, and all you have to replace is a clavicle. I'd say you're the luckiest man in the world, says the doctor, who immediately retcons Peacemaker's death for plot purposes. The doctor discharges Chris Smith here, Peacemaker, and she tells him that all he has to do is not raise his arm up above his head because that will not be good for the clavicle injury. Peacemaker flags down Jamil. Jamil is the janitor that's just out there chilling in the hallway. He tells Peacemaker that he's not a trustworthy person, but he can be trusted to keep a couple of secrets here. Chris Smith reveals to this janitor that he is the superhero Peacemaker.
Oh, Peacemaker!
Yes!
You're that racist superhero!
No!
You only kill minorities, man!
Peacemaker's like, if someone's committing a crime, am I supposed to control what their ethnicity is? And Jamil is like, no, but you should be monitoring all people equally. After determining that there is nobody after him, Peacemaker leaves the hospital. As he leaves, one of the secretaries texts somebody called Mr. Murn to let him know that Peacemaker is leaving the hospital. Do you really want to taste it? We meet 2 lesbians, Kia and Leota. Kia and Leota have just arrived at a hotel room with like 3 nasty little dogs. So Leota here is starting a new, potentially dangerous job that she doesn't really want to do, but she has to do it because both of them recently lost their jobs. So she gets a text from Mr. Murn. Peacemaker arrives at his trailer. Peacemaker's trailer is literally painted with red, white, and blue stripes, like it's literally the American flag as a trailer. So he goes in there, he finds his old phone, he's got a bunch of voicemails from his BFF Vigilante. He finds himself surrounded by 4 members of Amanda Waller's newest Black Ops unit. That would be Leota Adebayo, John Economos, Harcourt, and Clemson Murn. Clemson Murn explains Peacemaker's situation. He's like, you are gonna join our Black Ops unit, or we are gonna blow your head off because we still can blow you up. The bomb is still in there. Harcourt and Economos were both in the Suicide Squad movie. They helped lead the uprising towards the end of the movie where everyone rebelled against Amanda Waller and helped the Suicide Squad. Nobody likes Peacemaker. They all think he's a fucking douche canoe. Peacemaker calls John Economos Diebeard because it looks like he dyes his beard. Leota, she's the 4th member. She's the new girl. She's clearly never been in a Black Ops unit before, lacks experience, but she pretends like she has so much experience, and she yaps, even when she's not supposed to be yapping. Murn tells them that they are working on something called Project Butterfly, and the Butterflies are the bad people that they're after, essentially. Chris's job would be to go kill the Butterflies. Before he can fully join this unit, he has to go get something from his dad's house. His dad lives in a 1-story house in the suburbs. He's got a really annoying neighbor who's constantly poking fun at Peacemaker, because he's wearing this fuck-ass costume. And he's not a real hero like Batman. Peacemaker's dad, over here, Augie Smith. He is not excited to see Peacemaker when he shows up at his house, and also immediately the context clues are telling us that Mr. Augie Smith is kind of a huge racist, potential white supremacist. I'm not even gonna fuck with the potential. He is a white supremacist. The worst guy. I don't think I've ever seen a worse guy than Augie Smith. Peacemaker is trying to make small talk with his dad, because even though his dad is a horrible, terrible, awful, shitbag person, Peacemaker still loves him. He's still his dad. He still wants his dad to be proud proud of him and shit. So he's telling him stories from, like, when he was with the Suicide Squad. His dad calls him pathetic because he let himself get shot. Then Peacemaker gets what he came for. It's in the garage. What is it? His eagle, his pet eagle named Eagly, is just squawking around in the garage. The eagle hugs Peacemaker. Meanwhile, the team, the Black Ops unit, they're setting up at their new base. This old abandoned building that nobody's really been in for a while. It's got leaky pipes. There's a piano for only one purpose. No sunlight. It's like this really dingy, awful place. Harcourt asks Adebayo what she did to piss off Amanda Waller, because Harcourt believes that her and John Economos were put on this group as punishment for the uprising at the end of the Suicide Squad movie. Adebayo does not really divulge into any details. Augie Smith takes Peacemaker into his pocket dimension. There's a pocket dimension inside of this racist man's house, so that's cool and cute. In here, there's all sorts of superhero shit. There's like weapons, outfits, and helmets. And they all have special powers and shit, and he takes one. The team meets up at a restaurant to discuss some things. Peacemaker shows up in full costume. The eagle is in the car, and the team immediately starts insulting Peacemaker. They insult his outfit. The colors are not tactical. Murn gives Peacemaker a dossier filled with all the information he needs to know about Project Butterfly. One of the busboys at this fine establishment is like staring at them. He's waving at Peacemaker, all giddy, all excited. Peacemaker doesn't seem to know who this guy is. This guy then goes outside to the back and starts doing a victory dance because Peacemaker's back. Peacemaker's back. After dinner, Adebayo goes out to the car with Peacemaker and she sees the eagle. They have a nice bonding moment. The only person on the team who seems to give a fuck about Peacemaker is Adebayo. Like, she's genuinely trying to connect with him and be friends with him because she's a genuinely sweet and kind person. Unlike everybody else. Everybody else sucks. He tells her that the eagle actually hugged him earlier, and she does not believe him. She's like, there's no fucking way an eagle could possibly hug a man. And he's like, well, that's on you for not believing in miracles. Peacemaker says that he doesn't trust Clemson Murn because he's heard stories of that guy being a real total jackass and committing a lot of evil crimes and deeds back when he was in the military. While driving home, Peacemaker sees Harcourt go into a bar, so he immediately U-turns in the middle of the road and follows her into the bar like a creepy stalker. She's sitting at the bar trying to have a drink. There's a group of nasty men in the bar catcalling her. One of them approaches her. She tells him to fuck off because he smells bad or whatever. And then Peacemaker shows up. He's like, hey, what's your first name? I know everyone's first name except yours. And she's like, I'm not fucking telling you. Just call me Harcourt, you dipshit. One of the men who is catcalling her comes up to her, starts picking a fight. She kicks his ass. It's like that slow motion scene in the romance movie where the main character is like, oh my god, I'm so in love with this hot, sexy person. She says, just because he's handsome doesn't make him less of a dipshit. He tries to proposition her for sex, and she tells him to go fuck himself. Peacemaker does not fuck himself. He instead approaches a rocker chick and goes and fucks her instead. Back at the hotel room, Adebayo is on a phone call with Waller, and we learn a couple of important things from this phone call. First, Amanda Waller is Leota Adebayo's mother. M-O-T-H-E-R, mother. And second, Mother Waller has given Leota a fake diary that is meant to look like Peacemaker wrote it, and she tells Leota to hide this fake diary somewhere in Peacemaker's trailer where he won't find it. Peacemaker is at the rocker chick's house, and she is in the bathroom brushing her teeth. He's sitting in her bedroom in nothing but his fucking tidy whities, and he's going through her records and her CDs and shit, and he's like, oh my god, these old rock bands, that's some good shit, okay? He says that's the good shit from back when men were real men because they weren't afraid to be women. So he puts on one of the records and he starts dancing around. He grabs a vibrator and uses it as a fucking microphone. Yeah, And then he's dancing, he's singing. And this woman, dressed in nothing but her fucking underwear, attacks him with a knife. They fight. She throws him around. She's got like superhuman strength. She's very strong. She's thrown him through walls. She's like not reacting to any time that she gets hit. He jumps out a window, falls 4 stories, and then runs into the parking lot and tries to hide. And the only way he's able to kill her is by using his sonic boom helmet. Yeah, so he sonic booms her to death and she explodes. Episode 2. Best Friends for Never. Peacemaker calls Harcourt and explains what just went down. She's like, fuck. She's staying at the same hotel as Leota. She goes and knocks on Leota's door and she's like, get up, new girl, you're driving. Peacemaker just killed a damn butterfly. Do you really want to taste it? Peacemaker is going back inside the building to put his outfit back on and get all of his stuff before Harcourt and Leota get there. While they're driving, Harcourt tells Leota that it's not a good idea to have, like, somebody in her room with her. Murn tells John Economos that he needs to hack some shit and make some changes, because when the cops show up and they see that car, it is registered to Peacemaker. So they need to hack some shit to make the car look like it's registered to someone else. Literally anyone else, babes. The cops arrive on the scene and we meet our 2 main cop girlies, Detective Song and Riverdale Dad. I don't know what Riverdale Dad's actual name is because every time I look at him, I'm like, oh my god, that's Betty's dad from Riverdale. That's the Riverdale Dad. I have CW brain. Peacemaker is taking his time packing shit up, stealing things from this woman's apartment, and he finds some creepy alien obelisk, so of course he's taking that with him as well. The cops see him through a window, so they enter the building and attempt to corner Peacemaker. So he runs upstairs and he knocks on a random door, and he gets inside these people's apartment and he like takes them hostage. The people that he takes hostage are a married couple. The woman's name is Amber. The man's name, I don't care, he's irrelevant, because he's not pleasing Amber. He's not doing it for her anymore.
It's nice to be appreciated.
Are you fucking kidding me, Amber? What? Are you seriously trying to get him to fuck you right now?
And Amber is like high-key flirting with Peacemaker. The police bust that door down, so Peacemaker has to jump out the balcony window. He's jumping from balcony to balcony to try and get back down to the parking lot. He gets cornered. Harcourt has to jump out of the car, take out some cops, and rescue his ass, and they all get away safe and sound. Back at the office, Economos reveals that the guy that he swapped the registration with was Peacemaker's father. Detective Song and Riverdale Dad stroll up to Augie Smith's house, and they try to arrest him for suspicion of murdering Miss Rocker Chick. And he is like, no, that's not my car, that's my son's car. And they're like, Peacemaker? Didn't he fucking die? Augie Smith is also immediately racist to Detective Song. He's like, are you gonna arrest me or get the fuck off my property, chopsticks? And Girly claps back with the, yeah, well, we'll be seeing ya, fork. Riverdale Dad is like, I think spoon would have been a better insult. Murn is kind of upset at Economos for picking Peacemaker's father as the fall guy because they're trying to earn Peacemaker's trust by trying to get his father arrested. That's not really going to gain anyone's trust now, is it? And this was the moment that I realized that I own the exact same outfit that John Economos is wearing. Dogs howling at the moon with a fucking brown jacket, and I believe he was wearing gray sweatpants. I am cosplaying John Economos on purpose. When Peacemaker gets back to their HQ, Economos has to stitch him up, and Peacemaker keeps calling him Diebeard, and he does not like to be called Diebeard, so he's like, listen, I would rather deal with any other person on this earth than you. I'd rather deal with Harley Quinn or the fucking Weasel or Batmite. Yeah, Batmite is real in this universe. John Economos confirmed it. The team is having a discussion on how this woman found out about the butterflies, and Peacemaker reveals that he just left the fucking dossier out on her bed and she just read through it. So that's how. They're all mad at Peacemaker for being like careless with the fucking dossier, but he's mad at them because he still doesn't know what the fuck a butterfly is. One of those fucking butterflies just attacked him, but he still doesn't know what they are. What is their deal? Where do they come from? What do they want? No one's telling him, and they're still not going to tell him. They're not going to tell him for a very long time, and he's kind of pissed about it because he feels like none of them trust him. Murn gives Adebayo a new assignment. She is going to go to that married couple that Peacemaker fucking kidnapped, and she is going to bribe them to not rat on Peacemaker. At the red, white, and blue trailer, Vigilante rolls up while Peacemaker is in the middle of a heavy cry session because nobody likes him. Vigilante is constantly wearing like his full outfit. He's got his mask on 24/7 because no one knows his real identity, not even Peacemaker. He wouldn't jeopardize it.
I don't even know your secret identity.
Yeah, I don't tell you my real identity for your sake. I don't want to put a target on you.
Vigilante is like very happy that Peacemaker is back. Adebayo approaches the married couple and they are very easily swayed. They are in fact happy that they're being bribed. These two are freaks. With a capital F and a capital R. Lowercase eek though. Peacemaker tells Vigilante pretty much everything. He's like, I work for the government, but I'm also kind of having a crisis right now because I'm not sure if I want to keep killing people. And Vigilante, he gives him a pep talk. He's like, listen dude, when you encounter a criminal and you kill him, do you not feel good? And Peacemaker's like, no, that is not what drives me. And then fucking Vigilante's like, what are you talking about? That is literally my life's driving force. So to cheer Peacemaker up, Vigilante takes him out to the fucking forest and they start shooting weapons, like all kinds of weapons, shotguns, bow and arrows. They're shooting every type of gun that you could possibly have at like a bunch of random trash that Vigilante has collected over the time that Peacemaker has been in jail. And while a rock version of One Direction's Drag Me Down plays, they just go ham on all this shit. It's a very specific aesthetic. One thing that this show really does very well is music. All of the music is like rock and roll music. It's like hardcore music. But then when you have like the hardcore rock aesthetic, but the guy is literally singing Drag Me Down by One Direction, it's a very specific kind of funny. The married couple go to the police station and they point out Augie Smith as the man who attacked them. The cops now go back to Augie's house and they arrest his ass. Leota and Kia talk and Leota suggests that they get 2 different rooms because she doesn't want Kia to be in danger, and Kia's not happy about this. Peacemaker, Vigilante, and Amber are lying in bed naked, but Vigilante is still wearing the mask, yeah, of course, and they're like smoking weed together. Vigilante makes a comment that they're really lucky that weed is legal because if it wasn't legal he would have to murder both of them. Peacemaker like reaches over to touch that weird alien obelisk that he found and it opens up in his hand like a tiny spaceship. Augie Smith gets to prison and he immediately makes friends. Like every single racist like rallies around him. They do the Elon Musk salute and everything and they start chanting, "All hail the white dragon." Episode 3, Better Goff Dead. The team is packing up some weapons because they're about to go out on a mission. Vigilante is watching them from behind a dumpster because he doesn't trust them. He doesn't think they're best friend material like he is, and he thinks they're gonna turn on Peacemaker the first chance they get. Harcourt tells Vigilante to go fuck off. Murn reveals that they're gonna go kill a senator who is a potential butterfly. Do you really want to taste it? Senator Goff is allegedly a butterfly. His whole family could potentially be butterflies, and if that is the case, they all need to be eliminated. In the middle of a photo slideshow, while Murn is giving this information out, Adebayo accidentally shows everyone a photo of her wife's pussy. Oops. Peacemaker is like, listen, I don't want to kill children. Not really in the cards for me. And Murn is like, I don't give a fuck what you want. If those children are butterflies, then you're killing them. Okay, that is what we hired you to do, bestie. Goff has a bodyguard, a small man in a green costume called Judo Master. He is, as the name implies, a master of judo. When they arrive at the senator's house, they stake out behind some boulders. Peacemaker is like, I can't kill anyone with this gun. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, this gun does not have the Dove of Peace on it. All of my weapons need to have the Dove of Peace engraved on them or I cannot kill with it, okay? It just simply goes against my code of ethics. Adebayo hands him a Sharpie. Murn and Economos go off to the side to do something, and Murn reveals that he's not like an emotional guy. He doesn't like to share his feelings with anyone, and he tells Economos that he feels sad. And that is the most vulnerable he has ever been in his entire life. Murn also tells Economos that he does not trust Peacemaker enough to tell him what the butterflies actually are. Peacemaker and Harcourt are watching the mansion. They are waiting for Goff to arrive, and they share some trail mix while they wait. So Goff and his family arrive. They come with a bodyguard as well as judo master. They aren't able to snipe Goff before he gets into his house because his bodyguard keeps blocking the shot. But once he does get into the house, they watch him through a window, and him and his entire family are acting kind of strange. Like, they're just like staring at the walls. They're not really doing human things. And Murn is like, yeah, they're all fucking butterflies. They all have to die. And Peacemaker's like, oh, but I can't kill them because this dove of peace is not a real dove of peace. It's just a Sharpie dove of peace. It's not the same. I can't. It doesn't feel right. They're gonna have to wait until the morning to kill Goff, so Peacemaker and Harcourt have some time to chat. She reveals that after high school, she joined the CIA, and then she joined the DEO, and then she joined Argus, where she got put on Task Force X, and now here she is, waiting to assassinate some children. She walks away to piss, and then Vigilante jumps out of the bushes and is like, oh my god, hi Peacemaker. I followed you here. Everyone knows that he's there, so he just kind of chills with them for the rest of their little stakeout. The family goes into the dining room, the Goff family, and they pour some weird honey-colored liquid into a bowl, and then they their tongues flap out of their mouth, but they're like alien tongues. They're these long, like, they start like lapping up this nasty fluids, and then fucking Murn is like, oh my god, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, they're butterflies, kill him, and Peacemaker's got his sniper rifle, and he can't do it. He can't kill him, he can't do it. But luckily for them, Vigilante is here, and Vigilante can do it. He snatches the sniper rifle from Peacemaker, and he shoots 3 of the 4 family members while humming softly to himself. He's not able to shoot Goff because Judo Master attacks them before he can get the last shot off. They get into a fight, and Judo Master, he's doing some serious damage. Judo Master is a force to be reckoned with. He gets them all on their asses. Adebayo and Murn have to leave the van, so John Economos is left alone in the van. Adebayo finds Harcourt, and she's trying to get her to safety, but the bodyguard shows up, and Adebayo pulls a gun on the bodyguard. Harcourt keeps screaming at Adebayo to just shoot the fucking bodyguard, but she can't do it, so Harcourt grabs her own gun and shoots him, and then Adebayo reveals that she's never killed anyone before. And this is all a lot for her. Murn, Harcourt, and Adebayo rendezvous, and they use the tracker inside Peacemaker's bomb implant to figure out where he is. So they go inside the mansion and they try to rescue him. Judo Master has Peacemaker and Vigilante in an underground weird alien hideout, and he's like eating flamin' hot Cheetos, and he's flicking them at Peacemaker. And then Goff shows up, and he starts pulling out all of the torture instruments, like everything you could possibly think of to torture somebody with, he is whipping it out. And he tells Judo Master to leave and tell the others what happened. Murn, Adebayo, and Harcourt are in the house. They're looking for the basement. They cannot find, there's no stairs. So they're looking for, a secret compartment, and Adebayo is the one who actually finds the secret door, but it's not so simple because this door is covered in some, alien goo, and they can't get through it. Fortunately, Murn has brought an experimental bomb. Back in the alien basement, Goff unmasks Vigilante. So, I will do the same. There he is. He is revealed to be Adrian Chase, the busboy from the diner. Goff's plan is to torture Adrian, and hopefully, while seeing his friend in pain, it'll convince Peacemaker to spill all of their secrets. Peacemaker does not give a single flying fuck what they do to Vigilante. They could cut off his toe for all he cares, and they do. Murn's bomb goes off, and then the blast from that sends Peacemaker, falling forward in his chair, and he's able to break free from his restraints, and then he fights Goff and kills him. Economos, back in the van, sees Judo Master on the cameras, and he freaks out, because if Judo Master gets away, and he tells people what happened, their whole operation could be at risk. So he has to go after Judo Master alone. He ends up running Judo Master over with his van, and then getting into a little bit of a fight with him. He's able to take him down with 2 good swings, actually, 5 good swings from a crowbar or some shit, and then Judo Master is out, and Economos does a little victory dance. Peacemaker and Adrian see a little bug fly out of Goff's head, and then Peacemaker's like, oh, I get it. Project Butterfly. Oh, yeah. Episode 4, The Choad Less Traveled. On the drive back to HQ, Peacemaker tells the gang that he shot the butterfly that came out of Goff's head. They also have Judo Master tied up in the van, and they're not really sure what to do with him. Do you really want to taste it? Back at HQ, the team, which now includes Vigilante, goes over everything. John is now in charge of keeping Judo Master alive. Adebayo and Harcourt are gonna go through some files. Murn pulls Peacemaker aside, and he's like, hey, what was that about last night? Like, why did you not kill those butterflies? And Peacemaker's like, you didn't put a damn dove apiece on my gun, that's why, it's the dove apiece. And then Murn is like, I know that's bullshit, and you also know that's bullshit. Chris is like, yeah, I made a vow to get peace at any cost. He won't kill kids just because Murn says so. Like, he still doesn't even know what the fuck a butterfly even is. He doesn't know what any of this means. Murn agrees to explain everything about the butterflies to him the next day. Adebayo apologizes to Harcourt for choking last night and not killing that guy. And Harcourt is like, listen, in this line of work, you have to make the tough calls. You have to just do shit and not hesitate. So John has Judo Master in one of the back rooms, and he's kind of like playing doctor on him. And Adebayo is like, damn, I really wish we could just take this guy to a hospital. And Economos is like, this is a fucking Black Ops mission. We can't take this fucking ninja warrior to the hospital, my guy. So in the car, Vigilante and Peacemaker are driving, and Vigilante is like, thank you so much for letting me get tortured. I really appreciated that.
For a minute, I was kind of PO'd. Like, you didn't care about the fact that I was in, agonizing pain.
I've never had a friend quite like you. Chris clocks that he might be being a little sarcastic, and he maybe is a little bit upset about the whole toe ordeal.
It just seems like under the surface you're kind of angry about it.
I'm not.
Seems like you are.
Well, I'm not at all, dude.
Okay, the way you said dude right there?
What?
Adrian and Chris get to his dad's house, and they go inside to the pocket dimension. On the TV, we hear a news story about Charlie the gorilla being stolen from the zoo. And then Peacemaker goes into the pocket dimension and takes every single one of the helmets. Adrian walks in and he's like, for a racist, your dad's like pretty techie. Outside, the annoying neighbor guy tells Peacemaker that he's not a real superhero like Batman because Batman has a coterie of supervillains. Does Peacemaker have a coterie of supervillains?
Do you have a coterie of supervillains?
No, he doesn't.
No. So you're not a real hero like Batman. And Peacemaker gets all up in this old guy's face, and he's like, you want to know why I don't have a coterie of supervillains?
My coterie of supervillains is 6 feet fucking under.
Batman doesn't kill people.
Because he's a pussy!
He's a dark creature of the night.
Riddle me this. How many people do you think Batman has indirectly killed because he was too much of a candy ass not to kill those fools who clearly need to be smoked once and for all? You wrinkly, Sharpay-looking, dementia-infested fuck! The neighbor also reveals that his father is in jail. Peacemaker calls Murn, and he's like, yo, what the fuck, you put my dad in jail? Adrian is like, I told you so. I knew those fucks weren't best friend material. And then the two of them kind of make up. Adrian's like, why won't you kill your dad? Your dad is like literally the worst person alive. And Peacemaker's like, I won't kill him because he's my dad and because I love him. Murn is like, Adebayo, you have to go to the jail and you have to convince Peacemaker not to talk to his father because that will make things so much worse for us. Judo Master wakes up and he escapes. Outside the jail, Adebayo approaches Peacemaker and she explains in detail exactly how they framed his father. And she's also like, I don't understand why you love this man. Like, I don't understand. Like, I read your file. I know what he did to you. Peacemaker's like, my file? What the fuck are you talking about? You don't know shit about shit. She's like, well, I know your dad used to be a fucking evil racist supervillain called the White Dragon. I know that he was not kind to you growing up. I know he trained you to be a super soldier. I know he's not a good guy, and you don't owe him anything. And Peacemaker's like, but he's still my dad. And he goes into the jail to talk to Augie. Adebayo sees Adrian standing over there, and she's like, hey, you sound like Vigilante. You have a limp just like Vigilante. Are you Vigilante? And he's like, no. Peacemaker explains the entire situation to his father about how he was framed, and his father's like, I saw you come out of your mother's cooch, and I should have slit your throat then and there. Outside, Adrian and Leota have a talk, and she inspires him to go in there and kill Peacemaker's father. Peacemaker comes out of the jail. Vigilante runs off to do some freak shit, so Adebayo takes Peacemaker back to HQ, and while they're driving, they have a little convo. And Peacemaker is, like, all in his feelings. He's like, dude, I'm a terrible person. I'm like a Choad, like the bad kind of Choad. And Adebayo's like, I don't think you're like the bad kind of Choad. I think you're like the good kind of Choad. And he's like very touched by this. Adrian makes a scene outside of the jail and gets himself arrested. John discovers Judo Master is gone, so he calls Adebayo. When Peacemaker and Adebayo arrive back at HQ, they immediately get attacked by Judo Master. In the parking lot, Peacemaker and Judo Master duke it out. It's the final showdown. Peacemaker is about to take him out, and Judo Master is like, the butterflies, they're not what you think. And then he gets shot. Adebayo shoots him. And Peacemaker's pissed. He's like, I had him, bro. I was gonna take him out. Like, this was my fucking revenge fight. Like, I had him. And she's all shaken. She's like, I've never killed anyone before. Oh my god. And Peacemaker's like, no, don't worry. He's not dead. Back at Peacemaker's trailer, we discover that Peacemaker did not kill the butterfly that came out of Goff. He, in fact, put it in a jar and has it in his trailer. Harcourt and Adebayo make nice with each other, and Harcourt reveals that the first time she killed someone, she didn't get her period for 3 weeks. And she's like, it's good that it feels bad to kill someone. Like, it's good, because, like, the moment that you feel nothing after you kill someone, that's when you turn into some fucking freak like Amanda Waller, and then you start devaluing human life. And Harcourt does not want to be like Amanda Waller. Waller? I hardly know her. Adebayo then confesses that she convinced Vigilante to go into the prison and kill Augie. Murn is not happy about that, and so they do some hacking to try and get Vigilante out of the system before he does any real damage in there. In jail, Adrian approaches Augie. Augie is sitting at a table with like a bunch of other white supremacist fucks. He's like, hey guys, I think we should all go around in a circle and say something we're thankful for that black people contributed to American culture. So then a fight breaks out, but Augie is not stupid enough to be goaded into fighting him. Augie's like, who are you? And Adrian says, I'm the guy who's gonna fuck you so hard. I'm the guy who's gonna fuck you so hard your asshole's gonna be dragging around behind you like a tail. He also says that he's a bad dad, which tips Augie off that Peacemaker might have sent him in there, and he like demands a visit with Detective Song. Peacemaker, dressed in plain clothes this time, goes to the bar, and he has a chat with Harcourt, and he's like, hey, Adebayo mentioned a file on me. Can you tell me what's in there? I'm genuinely so curious. And Harcourt's like, all I know is that your father trained you to be a killer, and you had a brother who died under mysterious circumstances. And there's a chance that you were involved with your brother's death, and that is all I know. That's all we know. Adrian is released from jail. Harcourt picks him up, and he confesses that he's afraid he might have made things way worse for them. Adebayo is working late because she's a singer, and she gets a call from Kia that she ignores, and she discovers a connection between the butterflies and the Glen Ty Bottling Company. Peacemaker is having some traumatic memory flashbacks. He has a memory of him as a young child being forced to torture a man strapped to a chair, and he also has a memory of Rick Flag in his dying moments saying, Peacemaker, what a joke. And then he has a final flashback of his brother having a seizure and dying. Murn is chilling at his house. He's watching TV, as you do. He grabs a bowl of honey-colored liquid, and then his alien tongue flops out of his mouth, and he starts lapping that shit up. Yeah. Okay. Alright, sure. Episode 5, Monkey Dory. Peacemaker is hungover, and he spends the morning watching Eagly fly around and feeding Goff some of the amber fluid. He has a jar of it that he stole. Kia knocks on Leota's door, and she's like, hey, I feel like you are choosing Amanda Waller's version of your life over me. I would like to come back to your hotel room. I am sick of this. And then Amanda Waller texts Leota, reminding her that she needs to plant that diary in Peacemaker's trailer. Murn gives a presentation on the butterflies to everyone, so now everyone is on the same page. Butterflies are little alien creatures, and they attack human bodies by entering through one of the orifices. And that includes the butthole. Butterflies enhance human host strength. The only thing that can sustain the butterflies is the amber fluid, that honey-colored liquid that they all drink. That is the only thing that can sustain them. Peacemaker is mad at Economos because Economos is the one responsible for putting his father in jail, so they're beefing. Economos is like, listen, I panicked. Like, who else was I supposed to put in jail? And then Peacemaker starts listing off names of a bunch of celebrities, some dead, some alive, some fictional.
Hey, or Drake? What? Brad Pitt, or Payne Stewart, or Doug the Pug, Khloe Kardashian, the Red Tiger from Voltron.
And his list includes Optimus Prime and the fucking cunts from Riverdale, which means that Riverdale exists in this universe. Riverdale Dad is in this show. So does that mean that Riverdale Dad is an actor? Like, was he an actor before he became a cop? Does he have a twin who is a cop? Is that just his doppelganger? Like, how are we explaining this? Murn assumes that the amber fluid is being processed at the Glantype Bottling Company, considering all of the butterflies they've interacted with so far have Glantype Bottling Company merch. The team is gonna go there, but Murn is gonna hang back and deal with the White Dragon situation. Do you really want to taste it? Detective Song and Riverdale Dad meet up with Augie again, and they agree to run the prints again at the crime scene. And Detective Song requests that a copy of the prints be sent directly to her. Riverdale Dad is worried that she could get in trouble for that, but she doesn't really give a shit. Adebayo tells Peacemaker to maybe go easy on Economos. Tone it down. Vigilante's like, yo, Adebayo, that's just how Peacemaker is. He can't tone it down. In the van, everyone's arguing about what music to put on, and despite their beef, Economos and Peacemaker are able to agree on the music. Murn gets a visit from an old colleague from his time in the military, Mr. Locke. Locke agrees to do him a favor. Song and Riverdale Dad discover that the prints were indeed switched at the Augie Smith investigation. So they go to talk to the couple, and the couple does tell them that they were in fact bribed, and then they point out Peacemaker as the right guy. They are at the Glantype Bottling Company. Vigilante wants to bring in a chainsaw because he really wants to kill someone with a chainsaw. He thinks that would be fun and cool, but everyone tells him to leave the chainsaw in the van. Peacemaker and Adebayo go in towards the front, and then Vigilante and Harcourt go in the back. Peacemaker brought his X-ray vision helmet, so he's able to see inside these people's heads and see if there's a butterfly in there or not. So he just starts shooting everyone because they're all butterflies. Harcourt and Vigilante discover that this is in fact the place where all of the amber fluid is being produced and distributed. Economos is in the van watching all of the cameras. Harcourt and Vigilante end up getting trapped inside of a server room, and they're not alone in there, because Charlie the gorilla is in there. Peacemaker blows up a lot of the butterflies with a bomb, leaving only the gorilla left to fight. Economos radios, and he's like, guys, come in. Please, somebody answer me. Then no one answers him. So he has to take matters into his own hands, I fear. Adebayo, Peacemaker, Harcourt, and Vigilante are fighting this fuck-ass gorilla. Why is there always a gorilla? The gorilla's kicking ass. Economos comes in with that chainsaw, and he slices the gorilla in half. And Vigilante's kind of pissed, because killing someone with a chainsaw was his idea. Economos and Peacemaker are now on good terms. Yay, all it took was gorilla murder. And on the drive back, Harcourt takes a picture of everyone being happy in the van. Detective Song is ready to release Augie from jail, but she is not able to because the new captain, Captain Locke, our guy, tells her she can't do that. The team returns to HQ, and Murn is like, our next objective is to find the source of the amber fluid and destroy it. But for now, have a good night, guys. You did great work today. Detective Song and Riverdale Dad go to talk to Judge Judy, her uncle, Judge William Judy, and they get an arrest warrant for Peacemaker. Harcourt creates a group chat for the team, and she sends the cute picture she took of them. Adebayo and Peacemaker arrive at his trailer, and he invites her inside, giving her the perfect opportunity to plant the diary like Amanda Waller wants. While inside the trailer, she sees like a framed photo of him and his brother, and she also sees a newspaper report about him taking down Kite Man. They talk about his chances with Harcourt because he really likes Harcourt, but she thinks he's an asshole. Leota's like, you're not a bad guy. Like, if you dropped the whole douchebag attitude, like, I think a lot of people might like you. And he's like, I don't know if I can do that. And he says he likes having her and the team as his friends. He finally feels included in something for once in his goddamn life. Adebayo returns to HQ. She calls Kia and leaves a voicemail saying that she's so sorry and she really hates that this job is coming between them. And then when she hangs up, she sees Peacemaker's X-ray vision helmet. She puts it on for a goof and a gaff, starts looking around. She looks at Murn, and she sees a butterfly inside Murn's head. She freaks out, runs out into the road, and then Murn, runs after her. Episode 6, Murn After Reading. Murn does not kill Adebayo. In fact, Murn being a butterfly is something that is common knowledge on the team. Harcourt and Economos already know that Murn is a butterfly. Murn explains that the butterflies, his people, they were peaceful once. You know, they came to Earth because their planet was destroyed and whatnot, and they wanted a new place to live. But then some of the other butterflies got ideas that they could take over the world and then control the actions of humans. Murn was the sole dissenter, and he decided that he was going to find a human, the worst human that he could possibly find, and take him over. I should not have put on these fuck-ass fake lashes. They don't even look good. Waller, apparently, does not know that Murn is a butterfly, and she is not allowed to know, because Murn doesn't trust her. Murn is like, Adebayo, we have to find the cow. And Adebayo's like, what the fuck is the cow? Do you really want to taste it? Peacemaker goes to an elementary school, and he tells the children about how he took down Kite Man. Little boy raises his hand, and he's like, so, you said the Black Heart Ruby weighs 30 pounds, and Kite Man was flying on a kite? Wouldn't gravity have just pulled him down anyway? Another kid raises their hand and is like, hey, have you ever met the Flash? And Peacemaker's like, yeah, and he's a total D-bag. And then another kid asks if Peacemaker has an origin story. And then Peacemaker gets a flashback to the day his brother died. His father is pointing fingers at him, accusing him of killing his brother. In the present, he's like, nope, I do not have an origin story. And then another kid asked if he knows her mother, because she thinks that he might be her real dad. And then that's the end of question time. Jamel, the janitor from earlier, is like, thank you, Peacemaker, for coming to my child's show and tell. White Dragon is released from jail because Song did get permission from Judge Judy to do that. Captain Locke is very upset about this, because she does not know the forces that she is messing with here. White Dragon is now preparing to kill Peacemaker. Adebayo is not sure if she can trust Murn now after learning that he's a butterfly, but Harcourt is like, listen, Murn is the most trustworthy guy I know. The entire police force led by Song and Riverdale Dad are after Peacemaker now. He is a wanted man. Adrian and Peacemaker are at the trailer, and Adrian's kind of mad because Peacemaker kept the creature that cut off his toes in a jar. That's kind of, why would you do that? But it's also kind of cool that you have a little alien in a jar. So they try to talk to Goff, the alien. And then Vigilante gets a call from Murn, who's like, hey, you guys need to get out of that house. The cops are coming. So they have to, sneak out. Their cops are already there. The house is completely surrounded, so they have to climb out the roof and then run into the forest to try and get away. The cops start tearing the trailer apart, and they find the diary. Adrian and Chris get followed into the woods, and in the chaos, Adrian falls out of a tree and he smashes the jar that was holding Goff. Goff takes over Detective Song. They get chased through the woods. They escape thanks to Eagly, who just swoops in and knocks out a whole bunch of dudes. Then Locke shows up at the end and he assists them. He gives them a getaway car, and then he kills the 2 officers that saw them. Peacemaker is not happy about that guy who just came in and killed 2 cops in cold blood, and Adrian is like, dude, when did you become such a pussy? Song and Riverdale Dad show up to the scene, and Locke is there, fake crying over these 2 dead cops, and they're like, what happened? And he gives a description of the man, and it's a perfect description of the Hamburglar. Riverdale Dad is like, hey, I think that guy might be fucking with us. And Song is like, yeah, he's with them. Locke finds the diary and he takes it away. Peacemaker informs the team that he kept Goff and now Goff has escaped. Economos thinks he found out where the raw amber fluid is coming from. The cow might be in a barn, in the middle of nowhere. Peacemaker is like, how the fuck do you guys know about a cow? Where did you get this information? But no one is telling him. Locke locks the diary up inside a drawer in his desk. Song is like in the middle of a field and she's calling all of the little aliens to her. The song that's playing in the background is like, monster! It's probably my favorite sequence from the entire show, to be so honest with you. I did add that song to my playlist. Meanwhile, Augie Smith is also out here suiting up in his white dragon costume. I did draw it. It does look like shit. And then the butterflies, led by Song, go into the police station and they overtake the police station. So now every single cop is a butterfly. Adebayo and Kia have a conversation where she apologizes for taking the job. She says it was a mistake and all she wants is to just be with her. She feels bad for betraying Peacemaker, and Kia's like, listen, you don't owe any of those people shit. Harcourt gives Peacemaker a gun that she engraved with the Dove of Peace for him, and he admits to her that it was never really about the Dove of Peace. Like, he just doesn't really want to kill people anymore. And she's like, oh, well, how do you feel about killing aliens? And he's like, nah, fuck aliens up. I'll kill all the aliens. Harcourt is like, I think you're a little bit less shitty than when we first met, and she tells him that her first name is Amelia. Peacemaker plays the piano that was in their HQ for no other reason than for him to play this piano. He plays this like sad sounding ballad that goes on for a very, very, very long time. It's just up close shots of John Cena's face while he plays the piano for a very, very. And then Adrian comes in and he's like, hey Peacemaker, I didn't know you wrote a diary. And Peacemaker's like, what are you talking about? I don't have a diary. The diary is now public knowledge. Inside the fake diary, it's like Peacemaker is a conspiracy theorist and he's claiming that the whole government is made up of butterflies and everything is a conspiracy. And now all of the butterflies are after Peacemaker. Episode 7, Stop Dragging My Heart Around. Young Chris and Keith are playing together when their dad comes in and demands that they go outside and they fight each other in a little fight ring. Chris punches him and then Keith falls over and he starts having a seizure. Augie then blames Chris for killing Keith. Do you really want to taste it? Peacemaker tells Economos and Adrian that diary is not his. And he still wants to kill the cow before the aliens can come get him. So they get in the van and they start driving out to this ranch. And White Dragon is able to track them using the trackers that are inside of Peacemaker's helmets. Harcourt goes to Adebayo's hotel room and she confronts her about planting the diary. Adebayo admits that she's Waller's daughter and she apologizes for everything that happened and she says she's leaving. Murn comes in and he's terrified because Locke has been compromised, so they have to move. Judo Master is out. He is at a gas station eating flamin' hot Cheetos. Two guys insult him. He kicks their asses and steals their car. Peacemaker, Adrian, and Economos are being followed by the White Dragon. Their van gets flipped over and then a fight ensues. Vigilante is wounded and he gets separated from the rest of the group. He steals one of the White Dragon's followers' cars and then makes a getaway. Economos and Chris are hiding in the woods. They're trying to run away as far as possible. Chris realizes that his father must have tracked him using the helmets, so he attaches his helmet to a raccoon. The butterfly police arrive at Murn's hotel room. Song confronts him, she calls him a traitor, and then she kills his human body, and she crushes him as a butterfly. They decide to leave because they're not worried about the rest of the team compromising the cow, because Murn was the brains of their operation, and without him, they will surely have no hope of taking them down. Harcourt and Adebayo run in, they see Murn's dead butterfly corpse, and then Judo Master shows up and attacks both of them. They do end up subduing Judo Master. The white supremacists corner the raccoon and they get pissed off that they've been duped by Peacemaker. Peacemaker and Economos find Adrian, they get into the car and they drive away. Eagerly keeps biting Economos. Adrian is like, guys, I got all the helmets and they're all in the trunk of this car. So they have to abandon the car and they try to abandon the helmets, but it's too late. White Dragon has found them. White Dragon is fighting Peacemaker. He tells him that he is the worst son that he could have possibly ever produced and he wishes he would have killed him sooner. Economos comes in clutch with a machine gun. He takes out a lot of the White Dragon's guys. Peacemaker is left to fight his father. He says that He knows that his father is responsible for Keith's death, and then he kills his father with one clean shot to the head, and Peacemaker cries. Adebayo and Harcourt make up. Adebayo reveals that her previous job was at a dog shelter that lost funding, and that she's not made for this whole Black Ops shit. Harcourt is like, no, you are made for this shit. Like, you need to stay. We need your help taking down the fucking cow, bro. They reunite with the boys at a veterinary hospital, and Adrian wants to kill the doctor, the nurse, and the male nurse, but they convince him not to do that. Adebayo witnesses Peacemaker crying over Eagly because Eagly took a hit in the battle with the White Dragon. Eagly wakes up, then the eagle hugs Peacemaker, and Adebayo witnesses this, and she thinks it's some kind of sign. So she calls her wife, and she's like, Kia, I can't come back, actually, I lied. I need to stay. I need to help these guys. I just witnessed a miracle. The new leader of the team is Harcourt, and they plan to move out on the cow and destroy it. Adebayo attempts to apologize for planting the diary, but every time she tries to talk, Peacemaker and Vigilante start making fart noises, so Peacemaker is very upset that Adebayo would do such a thing to him because he thought they were friends. The cow is a hideous, gross, disgusting blob creature with far too many eyes, and it's disgusting. I don't want to think about it. The aliens are preparing to teleport its lumpy ass somewhere else. Episode 8, It's Cow or Never. Peacemaker says that he made his vow for peace after his brother Keith died, so that nobody would ever die for no reason ever again. Do you really want to taste it? They arrive at the ranch. Adebayo calls her mother, and she's like, hey, can you send in, like, the Justice League? We're gonna need all hands on deck here. But the Justice League are kind of wrapped up with something, so it's gonna be a while before they can get there. They have eyes on the ranch. They also have 4 of Peacemaker's helmets. The first one is completely useless, as it's an underwater breathing helmet, and they are nowhere near any water. The second one will give everyone except the wearer scabies. The third one is Sonic Boom. The fourth one is a prototype called Human Torpedo, which will launch the wearer like a human torpedo. There was a 5th one that was like levitation, but somebody activated it and it floated away. They want to get the Sonic Boom helmet on the roof of the barn so that they can activate it from farther away and just blow up the barn. Peacemaker's kind of workshopping ideas. He's like, we could like shoot a fishing line all the way over there and then slide the helmet down. OMG, like Green Arrow? Asks Vigilante. No, not like Green Arrow, says Peacemaker. That dude goes to brony conventions dressed as the back half of Twilight Sparkle with a 4-inch wide butthole drilled in the costume.
That was a little unnecessary.
I want you to know that Stephen Amell took that comment personally.
I didn't fucking appreciate that at all. I'm not actually mad, but like, just remember hearing that and I just being like, fuck those guys.
You know, I feel for him. I really do. But also at the same time, have you seen the comic book Green Arrow with his dumb, pointy, blonde elf beard? Yeah, that dude does go to brony conventions.
We might have to cut this out of the podcast.
Anyway, they're like, oh, we could use Eagly. Eagly could fly over there, drop the helmet on the roof, and then we'll be all good. But Eagly doesn't understand the instructions, and he throws the helmet somewhere in the woods. So now they have to go find the helmet. Vigilante and Economos argue about ants and fish, while Harcourt watches as Peacemaker shoots a dart at, like, nothing. Because Peacemaker is having visions of his father inside his head. They find the Sonic Boom helmet. Peacemaker kills one of the aliens that are on the edge of the ranch. They take his clothes and they give his clothes to John Economos. The plan is that John is going to walk in there and plant the Sonic Boom helmet down right in front of the cow and then walk back out, and then there's a walkie-talkie in the helmet. So all they have to do is say activate Sonic Boom once Economos is out of the way, and then boom, cow is gone. Economos is a little bit worried about this plan, but they don't really have a choice. He gets confronted by Riverdale Dad, who is like, hey, what are you doing? And he says, I'm putting this bag in the barn. and it works. They just let him do it. They just let him go, nothing sus there. So Economos goes down into the depths of the barn, burrowed all the way underground, and he sees the fucking gross-ass, nasty-ass, blobby-ass cow, and he freaks out, drops the bag, and runs out of there. On his way out, he gets confronted by Riverdale Dad again, and he's like, hey, why does your beard look like that? And John Economos has to admit that he dyes his beard because he thinks that it will make him look handsome and younger. And he didn't think anybody noticed until recently when one of his coworkers kept pointing it out. And then Riverdale Dad just laughs and goes, ha ha ha, humans are so fucking pathetic, right? The aliens runs out and is like, oh my god, he left this helmet down there. And then there's chaos and everyone starts running towards John and John's trying to run away. And then Adebayo activates the sonic boom and it blows up. And then all of the butterflies run towards the helmet and she blows it up again. And then it falls underground and she blows it up a third time. And now the sonic boom is out of charges and a lot of the aliens are down. So that's good. The team runs in to finish off the butterflies and the cow. So cue the title music as Peacemaker, Vigilante, and Harcourt go in there and they girl boss this shit up. They're killing aliens left, right, and center. Peacemaker jumps down into the barn because he wants to go kill the cow. Riverdale Dad attempts to follow him, but Vigilante kills Riverdale Dad. Harcourt gets shot and she falls down. And then Locke shoots Vigilante and he also falls down to the ground. So it's not looking good for our girls. Adebayo and Economos are the last fucking hope of above ground victory. Adebayo finally is like, I am made for this shit. And as they walk out there, Economos trips on a fucking fence and he breaks his leg. Adebayo is able to get out there and save Harcourt before one of the butterflies can invade her. Harcourt tells her to go down into the barn and help Peacemaker. She puts on the human torpedo helmet and goes down into the barn. Peacemaker gets into a fight with Goff. And then Goff is like, no, Peacemaker, I don't want to kill you. I need your help. Please help me. Please listen. Goff tries to convince Peacemaker to help them. They need 3 people to pull the levers to teleport the cow away. She's like, listen, my people are only invading your people because our planet was destroyed by our greed, and if we can take over your government, we can ensure that your people won't make the same mistakes. You want peace? This is how we get peace. We invade your government, we give you peace. You're the peacemaker, no? And he's like, guess the fuck not, because he turns on them and he kills Goff. Then he activates the human torpedo helmet, which sends Adebayo shooting through the cow and back out the cow, and now she's covered in guts and goop. Everyone is alive somehow, despite all of them getting shot and absolutely fucked by these aliens. Peacemaker carries Harcourt out of the line of fire, so everyone is cool, and as they're walking away after their big victory, the Justice League shows up, including Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, and The Flash. Peacemaker shouts, "You're late, you fucking dickheads. Go fuck another fish, asshole." And then Aquaman is like, ugh, I'm so sick of that rumor. And then the Ezra Miller Flash is like, that's not a rumor. And then Aquaman, the fish fucker, is like, fuck you, Barry. And so our ragtag team of heroes saves the day. They take their fallen friends to the hospital. Everyone is going to be okay. Woo woo, Peacemaker and Adebayo make up. And he tells her that after Eagly, she is his BFF. But she probably shouldn't tell that to Vigilante, because he might kill her. Adebayo goes and does a press release where she tells the world that her mother, Amanda Waller, is responsible for Task Force X and planting the diary. And then Adebayo returns to her wife and her little dogs. Economos returns to work at Bell Rev Penitentiary. He is on crutches. He now has a framed photo of them in the van acting all cute. Judo Master is eating a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos, looking at the wreckage, all the dead butterflies. He is not having a good time. Harcourt is in physical therapy. It seems that she will recover from all of her injuries. Goff is flying around in Peacemaker's trailer. He feeds Goff the last of his amber fluid, and then they watch as Eagly flies off around into the sunset, and he sees a vision of his dad sitting next to him, and then he cracks open a beer. Oh, she's coming down. Looks like you made it to the end of this wonderful little video. It's currently like fucking... Ooh, it's 8 in the morning. I've been doing this since fucking 4 a.m. Oh my god. So if you've seen my Arrowverse videos, this would be the point where I like give the favorite character like a crown or some shit, but I'm not really gonna do that. But like, if you must know, Vigilante is my favorite character. This version of Adrian Chase is my favorite version of Adrian Chase that I've seen, and I've truly only ever seen one other version in Arrow, and I'm not a fan of the season 5 Adrian Chase from Arrow. I'm not a fan. Sorry, girl. I'm very excited for season 2. I can't wait to watch it. I'll probably do a recap on that. If you did like this video, please leave a like. It's very motivating. Also, subscribe so that you don't miss another video. If you liked this video and you want to hear me yap about other DC Comics TV shows, I have a couple of videos that I made about the Arrowverse. Arrow seasons 1, 2, and 3, and Flash seasons 1 and 2 are currently out. If you're watching this in the future, there may be even more. Also, I am still working on Arrow season 4. I did just have to kind of pause, take a brain break, and deal with Peacemaker, because it's all I've been thinking about for a while, and sometimes you can have too much Arrowverse. Thank you so much for watching, and remember that you, yes you, are my best bestie, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Oh, you're gonna put down my musical taste now? How fucking low are you?
Pump up kicks, Evan! Do you know what that song is about? Murder!